Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Sayed Answers. Many followers of the YouTuber Muhammad Hijab uh, were expecting that Muhammad Hijab was going to do a discussion with Dr. Peterson, Jordan Peterson, in November. And for those who don't know either party, let me explain who both are. Muhammad Hijab is a history teacher, and he's also a active da'i. He challenges atheism, feminism, the red pill movement on an academic level. And Jordan Peterson is a psychologist and a psychology professor at the University of Toronto in Canada. He became famous for his opposition to Canada's Bill C-16 Act, compelling the use of pronouns for those who choose not to identify as male or female. People were very hopeful that this mashup was going to take place. I was very hopeful, and to be honest, I'm a little heartbroken that this didn't take place. But we're going to watch Muhammad Hijab's video and react to it, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you guys doing? I'm going to jump straight into this. Regrettably and unfortunately, Dr. Jordan Peterson has decided to cancel the podcast that I was meant to be doing with him on his podcast, the Jordan Peterson podcast, on the 8th of November. Now, this is very regrettable, obviously, because many of your hopes and your expectations had been set on this particular discussion. And this would have been the first discussion that Jordan Peterson has had with a traditionalist Muslim on the subject of Islam on his podcast. And obviously traditionalist Muslims make up the vast majority of Muslims in the world. And so this would have been monumental and historical in many ways. Unfortunately, this is not going ahead. Now, I have to say I'm very disappointed, not least because this is meant to have happened 3 times now. This is the third cancellation. Not many people know. This is the third cancellation in 6 months. Now, I've only made this public 1 time because I thought on the balance of probability, he's not going to cancel for a 3rd time. He will keep his word. But he actually cancelled in May and he cancelled in August. And this is the 3rd time he's actually cancelled in a span of 6 months. Obviously, that has meant that I've had to do a lot of reading for these podcasts, read all of his material, listened to a majority of his lectures and so on. And unfortunately now, it cannot be used in a discussion with him. But it will be used, and I will say this, in a series of videos that I'll be making, correcting some of the misinformation that he's put out. Obviously, me having this advantage of reading so much of his material and watching so many of his videos puts me in that position where I can do this. And I'll say that, to be honest, I want to say one thing actually to Muslim people that are watching this that will maybe get very angry or very disappointed and maybe want to vent their frustration on Jordan Peterson's kind of social media. Don't do that, because the man has undergone serious mental health issues in the past, and we don't want to put pressure on him and give him a bad image of the Muslim community. I think what's better is for there to be a gentle accountability process which will commence. And some of the things that I was going to ask him, and what I was hoping to be an amicable and cordial discussion that I was going to have with him, that I was going to question him on, things that you would already know, like the warlord comment that he made about the Prophet, and other things which you may not know will be mentioned in the series of videos that I'm going to be producing on this channel. So subscribe to this channel, inshallah ta'ala, and I will be putting that content forward. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So that was Muhammad Hijab's video. I just wanted to insert some thoughts here. A verse of the Quran does come to mind, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Anfal, verse number 30, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويمكرون ويمكر الله والله خير الماكرين. They were planning and Allah was planning, and Allah is the best of planners. I mean, this is in the context of, the disbelievers who were deliberately planning to sabotage the Muslims. I hope Dr. Peterson isn't canceling too with the intent of sabotaging Islam. Usually, when Dr. Peterson has something on his mind, he is one to just say it. He usually doesn't care if people oppose him. I hope this isn't the case that he's just all like, oh, what's going to happen to my following if I have Muhammad Hijab on my podcast, a traditional Muslim, you know. So, um, with that being said, Muhammad Hijab was clear cut. This was the third time Jordan Peterson canceled. And it is forgivable the first. This is actually Jordan Peterson's words himself. That Jordan Peterson speaks up when he sees the same thing occurring 3 times. If something bothers him and it occurs 3 times, Jordan Peterson speaks up. And now Muhammad Hijab, I don't know if Muhammad Hijab is knowingly doing this or if this is just coincidence. Muhammad Hijab is now following Jordan Peterson's advice. Jordan Peterson canceled once. Muhammad Hijab was like, all right. Jordan Peterson canceled twice. Muhammad Hijab was like, okay. Jordan Peterson canceled a third time. Now Muhammad Hijab is gently, mercifully, because Jordan Peterson had several mental health issues. May Allah make it easy for him, and may Allah guide him to the truth. May Allah guide him to Islam. I mean, with that being said, what do you call it? Muhammad Hijab is kind of gently holding Jordan Peterson accountable and saying, hey, listen, every time you cancel, I do all this reading in advance to prepare. And, when you cancel, then the reading I do kind of goes to waste. So, nonetheless, it is possible Allah is allowing this. Honestly, that is what's going on. We should just assume that that's the default. If something doesn't go our way, this is kind of the default that Allah has got something better planned. It's my dad always tells me, when I see the ummah suffering and I go, Dad, this is kind of not right. Abu, as I call him, Abu, this is not right. Beta, what's going on is that Allah and Shaitan are, analogously speaking. I'm not saying this is literally taking place, but, this is like an analogy that let's say Allah's forces and the forces of Shaitan are playing a really high stakes game of chess here. Shaitan's forces makes their move, and Allah makes his move. And Allah's move is always better. Always better. So, I like what Muhammad Hijab is doing. He's not going to just sit there and let the reading go to waste. Instead, he's going to use the reading in readings in a series of videos. He reacts to Jordan Peterson's misconceptions about the religion of Islam. So I'm happy Muhammad Hijab is doing that. And inshallah ta'ala, the videos will be beneficial. I feel like Muhammad Hijab has this advantage that since Jordan Peterson won't be responding to what I should say is since Jordan Peterson is not going to be present in those reaction videos, again, because Jordan Peterson himself canceled, Muhammad Hijab was ready. Since Jordan Peterson will not be there, the benefit Muhammad Hijab has is that his points will not be most likely not be challenged. I doubt Jordan Peterson's going to just start doing reaction videos to Muhammad Hijab if he's not going to let Muhammad Hijab come on his podcast. But inshallah, we'll see. Maybe Jordan Peterson might reach out and it might take place. Who knows? But like the Quran verse says, Allah is planning and His plan is better. So let's just accept Allah's plan and trust Him, inshallah.